prakṛtyā śūnyacitto pramādādbhāvabhāvanaḥ nidrito bodhita iva kṣīṇasaṃsaraṇo hi sa. He indeed has his recollections of worldly life extinguished. He becomes void-minded spontaneously. He thinks of sense objects only by chance, and he is, as it were, awake through physically asleep. He indeed has his recollections of worldly life extinguished. This recollection is a beautiful expression here. Ashtavakra could have used the expression remembrance, but he has used a recollection. When one attains realization, harmless remembrance of the past may come and go. It is just simple memory. If the faculty of his memory is sharp, the memory may come and go. It may not get erased. That is remembrance. Whereas recollection is collecting his past from the bank of his stored impressions, vasanas. So recollecting is a stronger expression, manifestation of stored impressions of experience, which vasanas, which manifests as vritti, thought pattern. When one attains realization, then it is as though all experiences having the backdrop of vasanas, desires, ego, up to the previous day of his realization are erased from his active mind, not mind, active mind. It may be there, but they are gone from his active mind. Because the properties, the things which activate such past, that activating faculties, activating factors are the vasanas, which is gone, which is erased. Sometimes the past memories may come and go, but there is no change in him due to that. They have no potency to disturb him, disturb his state of self. Till one exists as a jiva, his true identity, self, is as though asleep, and his ego, filled with actions and the impact of experience of such actions, are fully awake at the grossest level. His vasanas are fully active at the grossest level. Speaking of this, Acharya writes, the memories of past experiences in the world of objects, recorded in our personality for future reference, are called vasanas. It is these vasanas that produce fresh impulses of desires, which procreate the mental and the physical disturbances in the individual ego. Unquote. Upon realizing the self is awake, self glows, self shines always, and with jivahood, which is still required to exist with BMI for clearing his prarabdha, that jivahood is asleep, does not ever disturb his state of abidance in self. Speaking of such man of perfection, Acharya writes, the man of perfection is one who has gone beyond his vasanas, and therefore he is described here as one who has extinguished all his worldly memories. This state of vasanalessness is a state of utter mental stillness in supreme meditation, and this state of total mental poise is gained by a man of realization spontaneously, without any conscious effort. Unquote. Śūnyacitto referred in this verse must not be confused with the state of voidness propagated by a sect of Buddhists. His chitta, memory bank, where impressions of past are stored, the chitta has become void. He has not become void. He has not reached the state of nothinglessness. His chitta has become as though shunya. For contemplation purpose, if he just looks back and turns the pages of his past life, as though he is turning the pages of past life of some other person, from childhood till recent past, how many excellent, good, bad, worse experiences. If even 5% of all those experiences must be carried in his mind all the time, life would be a restless life, agitated life, a hell. His mind is totally void. He does not remember anything about the past. From the memory lake, sometimes some of the past events or experiences pass by without there being any vasana or desire or any elated or depressed feeling about those experiences. Whenever any unwanted blame is thrust upon him by his family member or anyone, he could literally experience that at the same time his mind is void. Nothing ever enters his mind to create impulsive vasanas, impulsive anger, impulsive agony or reaction. This is captured by this verse as becoming void spontaneously at that very instant without efforts. Still, living in the world, objects of the world must be approached. Senses have to be used for performing some actions to clear the remaining prarabdha karma. Mostly, such actions would be related to the family. How such acts are done? Imagine one's eyes are open, apparently, but with his eyes open, he is asleep. How it would be? Similarly, his senses are awake, responding to the call and need of the situation, but he is actually asleep within. It means his vasanas and desires have gone to a permanent sleep. None of the results of the actions performed in the above areas, and few more, family and any other areas, none of the results of such actions does get fed into his memory, as it exists as śūnyacitto. It is in this reference that while undertaking actions due to prarabdha, he is asleep even while he is awake. Inaction in action. Even as though God Almighty cannot bring back the vasanas related to the past. This is described in a verse beautifully in Viveka Chudamani, where Acharya Shankara describes that the Jivan Mukta is awake when the world is asleep. That is, a Jivan Mukta is awake to the things for which the world is asleep, that is self. And he is asleep to the things for which the world is awake, desires, attachments. He is awake to superconsciousness eternally in his sahaja sthiti, and he sleeps to the objective world for which the world is awake always. The world is running for the objective world attainments always, and he is totally asleep to all those things. Acharya writes, one who is established in his spiritual awareness, to him this is a spontaneous vision, constant and effortless. That is, awake to the state of God consciousness. That state, he says, is a spontaneous vision. He only becomes casually conscious of the world of plurality. A dim and distant casual conscious on the horizon of his infinite bliss. Hari Om Tat Sat.